Oh boy. Here we go again. New year, new Crunchyroll Anime Awards. We all knew this was coming. I knew even more so because it's somewhat been on my mind for a decent amount of months now. Happens when you are somewhat involved, which I guess I might as well start with that. So for the sake of being in full disclosure, I have actually been in some way, shape, or form involved with every anime awards ever. Not always in the same way. Some years I've been a judge, like with this year. Some years I've just been a presenter at the actual final awards show. But in general, I have had something to do with it every year of its existence. And this year is no different. I was a judge / am a judge, though really, that doesn't mean all that much. Being a judge in the Anime Awards, especially with the wide number of judges, you can look up the list, it's on the website, there are a lot of us. There isn't that much of a difference between what the judges do and what the general public does. It's not like we've talked to one another. The biggest thing that we had influence over was the initial list, in that for every category, we put in things of what we wanted to see, what our best things for every category was, and then those were just combined, and then we voted on them to hopefully combine the list that is now able to be voted on by the general public. But one person, one singular judge only has so much power. You have to hope that the other judges have the same mind as you. At least that's the mindset that I went into it with. So there is a good possibility that we're going to look through this list today, because that's what the purpose of this video is. We're going to look through this list today, and we're going to notice that the things that I would put as a nominee aren't here. Hopefully that's not the case. I'm quite hopeful that there is at least one thing in every category that I in some way helped put there. And we're going to vote. And we're going to go through it, and hopefully you will go and vote too. And with any luck, people will be somewhat happy with these awards. Generally speaking, no one is ever fully happy with them. I'm not ever fully happy with them. Most of the time, there are several categories that I am depressed in at the end of the day. But as this is a whole community thing, it's up to the community to get this right. So don't screw it up. So thankfully, I have my laptop in front of me, and we're just going to swap over to that just now. With any luck, everything is recording properly, because sometimes that doesn't happen. So you can come to this website and you can vote every single day. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do this. All right, so the website is set up so that each individual category is here. You can probably drop them down, and we're going to click on things. I haven't looked at this at all. Again, I have a rough idea of what might be in some of these things, but the final list that the judges looked at was probably twice as long as the list that the general public sees. So I don't know what has made it. We're going to figure that out. We're going to save Anime of the Year here for the very end, for the very, very end, and we're just going to move on as we go. So we're going to start with a Best Boy. What is the nominees for Best Boy? Oh, there's a video. Do I want to do that? Am I going to get copyright struck for that? To be safe, as much as I do appreciate the people that put those videos together, I don't want to get hit for that. I'm pretty sure I got hit for that in a previous year. So feel free to watch the videos at home. But for us and our sake, we're just going to look at the nominees, which are Senku, Izumi, Otakawa, Boji, Ken, and Mikey. Okay, now we get to look into some of the methodology that I like to employ when it comes to these things. When I vote for things, I like to not lump all of my votes in the same place, as far as like the same character or even the same show across multiple categories. I like to see different shows get different spotlights for different things. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because Odokawa is here for Odd Taxi. Not that I don't disagree that he's a very good character. I don't necessarily think that I want Odd Taxi here. Odd Taxi is obviously going to be my vote in other places because I love the series. But here, my easy pick for Best Boy is Boji. Also because he's actual Best Boy. Odokawa is like a middle-aged man, and there are certain levels where I don't want to apply Best Boy to middle-aged men. I think the only time I've ever accepted that was for Reagan, who unfortunately I don't think has ever won Best Boy. I keep feeling like he hasn't. I could be wrong. I don't have an encyclopedic memory of the previous awards, nor should anyone. That's not something you should keep encyclopedic knowledge of, let's be fair. So, Boji, Ranking of Kings, Best Boy, pretty easy. Like Senku, pretty good. Izumi, like, Horimiya, I love as a series a lot, and I feel like it's never, okay, then maybe we'll do that. because I feel like Ranking of Kings is going to show up in other places. If Horimiya doesn't show up anywhere else, I will swap my vote and give it to Izumi, because Horimiya does deserve to have some semblance of vote recognition. So we're going to come back to that, and hopefully we remember. But for the moment, that's what we're looking at Best Boy. And then we're going into the hot contention of Best Girl. We're going to skip the nominee video. Okay, 8-6, Fruba, Jujutsu Kaisen, Kakeki Shoujo, Komi, and Wonder Egg. Well, Wonder Egg's not going to get anything. First reaction is that my vote goes here. Mostly because Toru Honda, I think she legitimately is Best Girl here. The only exception is depending on where else Toru Honda might get nominated for. So I think maybe that's also going to be what I have to do going down, is we're going to go down the list. I'm going to put a tentative vote on everything, and then we're going to back up. And then we're going to finalize all our votes based on the knowledge going forward. So for here, for Best Girl, tentatively, Toru Honda. Tentatively. What's after that? Best Pro Tag. I always find the Best Pro Tag, like, not looking at what's here yet, because who knows what is here. I always find Best Pro Tag very difficult, because Best Boy and Best Girl are almost like extensions of Best Pro Tag, just divided into two genders. Because if you actually look here, there are a lot of repeats from Best Boy and Best Girl. Otokawa and Boji and I are all repeats. But now we just have Yuji, Aaron, and Joe that show up who weren't in Best Boy categories. I'm very actually surprised that Yuji shows up in Best Pro Tag, but not also Best Boy. That's interesting. So then, that's the interesting thing. If I put Boji for Best Boy, then that gives me the ability to put a tentative vote for Otokawa for Best Pro Tag. And I actually think he deserves that. But for what is here and what I have personally enjoyed over the year, tentative on Otokawa. Moving on to Best Antag, which hopefully is a very different list. I like how Eren Yeager is both Pro Tag and Antag. It's one of those, you're not wrong, but you also shouldn't be in both. This is a situation though where I don't think my Best Antag that I voted for at all in the judges round is here, because I don't recall voting for any of these characters in Best Antag. And sneakily looking it up in another tab, that's because all of my votes went to Akito Soma from Fruits Basket. And this is a situation where no other judge agreed with me, which is depressing, because I think Akito absolutely deserved some recognition, at least to be nominated, if not to go further than that. But hey, I guess I don't even know where I want to put my vote. Yeah, fine, I'll put it here for ReZero, I guess. Because I didn't really care about Adam. Aaron, again, I don't believe should be in both Pro Tag and Antag. I'm not caught up on Hiroaka. Yano, I mean, he's a good character, but I don't really see him necessarily as an Antag in the same way. Like, he is, like, if you're gonna name anybody an Antag from Odd Taxi, this just feels like you want Odd Taxi there, and he's the closest thing to an Antag we have for Odd Taxi. And I don't necessarily agree with that. I love Odd Taxi, but it shouldn't be in every category just because of that. So we're gonna go with ReZero as my tentative vote for Best Antag. Next category is Best Fight Scene, and this is always difficult. I had a really hard time with this, even as a judge. I always have a hard time with this, because not only do you need to, like, pick a show, as a judge, you'd not only just need to pick a show and say, hey, this show has the best fight scenes, but you need to specify which fight scene from the show, and it usually just ends up being a cluster, because even if you have a lot of judges on the same page as far as which show absolutely deserves to win Best Fight Scene, not everybody's on the same page for which fight specifically. And so, we have Attack on Titan, Boruto, Jujutsu Kaisen, twice, Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, and Vivi, and I'm pretty sure I put a lot of my judges' votes into Vivi to try and get it here. I can't remember if that was my initial one. I'm pretty sure it is. Sneakily checking my votes. Yes, this is absolutely where all my judge votes went to, because Vivi is a brilliant show and I want to see it get some recommendation. And especially for the fight specifically and its animation, it might also pop up in the animation. So we'll see. We'll see if this vote's going to stay here. But like, especially in the animation department, Vivi is so good and the fights just look so great. But that is where I'm going to go, which actually made that category a lot easier to vote for than I thought. Director! You didn't make a video for Best Director. That's odd. Not as odd as odd. No, I'm not gonna make that joke. So a lot of these we've seen before. Attack on Titan to Jujutsu Kaisen totally makes sense. Megalobox. Sunny Boy makes its first appearance, which is interesting. I'm happy that it's here, as is Wonder Egg. Like, I'd like to give it to Wonder Egg, but again, I am so negatively against Wonder Egg that at the moment it's probably going to Odd Taxi. And I know I'm trying to avoid Odd Taxi getting a lot of things, but in some cases it does deserve it. And I feel like Odd Taxi was the thing I enjoyed the most out of all of these things. From a directorial standpoint, I guess is the way. And that's very hard, because you can enjoy a thing and you can't necessarily figure out what about it you enjoyed is directly tied to the director or not. But in my case, I'm going to go with Odd Taxi for that. For the moment. Now, Best Animation, this is where things are going to start to get real. Vivi did make it for Best Animation. That's good to know. So did Mushoku Tensei. That's going to make this difficult. You can have a lot of problems with Mushoku Tensei, and I can agree with most of them. But Mushoku Tensei's animation is not really something you can knock all that much. And then both Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen, they're gonna be hard to beat. I'm tempted to give this to Dragon Maid, but it's one of those, that's just because I like Dragon Maid and I want to see it get representation. I honestly do feel like Vivi had better animation than Dragon Maid, so I feel like that's where that's gonna go for the moment. Does that mean I would go back and change fight scene? Potentially, but also maybe not. Character design. You're starting to see a lot of the same shows pop up. Has Jujutsu Kaisen not been nominated for something yet? Holy shit. Out of the options here, I actually think that my vote is gonna go for Ranking of Kings. Because I do like the character designs for Odd Taxi very specifically, but again, I think I've been giving Odd Taxi a bit too much, and out of everything, I really do like the unique designs of Ranking of Kings. The characters are very unique. Not that Odd Taxi isn't, because it's a cast of animals, which in and of itself is quite unique. And then when it comes to Vivi, I do like the character designs, but honestly, I feel like that's more of an animation thing. The character design standpoint, I don't know if anything really stood out about like Skate or Wonder Egg to me. And Jujutsu Kaisen just feels like it's here because it's Jujutsu Kaisen. Now, moving beyond that into Best Score, where I can usually have... Is there anything new? Okay, well, 8-6 has popped up again, and thankfully, because my God, we keep seeing Odd Taxi in everything. Odd Taxi has a very good OP. I love Odd Taxi's OP. I don't necessarily think I would put it for the rest of the score, though. Like, I realize Demon Slayer doesn't need any help, but Yuka Kajira and Goshina is just a wonderful combination. I think the closest thing that I would put after that is either, it's a tie between like Megalobox and Vivi, because Megalobox has a very distinctive sound, and I've always been a fan of that. Vivi has just done a wonderful job with a lot of its production, including its musical score. But because I haven't given Demon Slayer anything, and it's not like I hate Demon Slayer or don't think it's deserving of winning things, that's probably where that's going to go for the moment. Oh, now we're going to get into VA. No, we're going to get into VA performances, and this is always difficult, because it's almost like popularity contest. Well, the entire awards is a popularity contest. That should not be surprising to me. All right, so looking at this seriously, Attack on Titan twice, Lupin the Third. I'm surprised Lupin the Third made it this far. Like, Jigen is worth it, but my God, I'm surprised. Otakawa's here again. This is the third thing that Otakawa has been nominated for. Kumiko, this is the first time Kumiko showed up, and I'm actually probably putting it there. If for no reason, okay, there are a lot of problems with Soma Spider. I have so many problems with it. By the end of it, it's not necessarily a good show. It has a lot of problems. But Kumiko as a character made up for so much for me, and the only reason I was able to drag myself through that show was because I loved watching this character just interact with herself. It got near the end of it, and I was just kind of hitting the arrow button and skipping through scenes where she wasn't in, if that tells you anything about how well those particular scenes did. But Kumiko is where my tentative vote is gonna go. Now, I'm very hopeful. So, before I open this up, I want to tell you a quick story about Fruits Basket. For the last couple of years, I have been trying to get Fruits Basket on this nomination list, on this freaking nomination list, and then to win Best VA Performance. Why? Because I feel like the dub of Fruits Basket for the last 3 years has been literally the best dub. I know that that's a personal opinion, personal preference, and I'm not trying to knock anyone who has been nominated for Best VA Performance over the last couple of years, but my God, for Fruits Basket, one of my favorite dubs, not just like of the last couple of years, but of a very long time, because it's basically the same dub cast with a couple of swap arounds from the original Fruits Basket cast. Like, there are a lot of reasons why I love Fruits Basket as a dub, and I really hope it gets a nomination here, and if it does, I'm even gonna lock in my vote. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Hello, Miss Laura Bailey. You get my vote for Best VA Performance, because my god, Fruits Basket's gonna win something here. I hope. This has been a thing that I've wanted for a while, and this is kind of Fruits Basket's last chance. Like, I know there is a prequel film coming up, but the large majority of the cast ain't gonna be in that, and even if they are, it'll probably just be cameos, and that's not really worth the thing anyway. So this is like the best final chance for this dub to get recognition here, and I really hope it wins it. So much so, I'm locking in that vote. I'm gonna confirm it. Hi, there we go. Let's move on. Best OP. No creative video for Best OP. Rights holders, am I right? Now, trying to think here. Think here. So looking at this, tentatively here, because Odd Taxi did have an amazing opening. I did like it a lot. Beastars was my favorite for like previous years, because like the opening for season 1 of Beastars was absolutely fantastic. This is season 2 though, and I don't have a problem with Beastars OP in season 2, but I don't feel like it was as good as season 1 by far. In fact, we're gonna actually lock this one in. I realize that means that we're giving Odd Taxi a thing, and we might adjust that later, but really I feel like that's the only thing I would be absolutely comfortable with, so we're locking it anyway, and we'll work around other things elsewhere. Is this an identical list? No, it's not identical. Thank the Lord. So Beastars and Titans show up again. Demon Slayer is here, that's fine. Shadow's House. Is it Shadows? Yes, it is Shadow's House. When you don't hear a title actually spoken aloud, it's hard to sometimes get it in your brain what it's called. So Shadow's House is there. Cool that makes its first appearance on this entire list. Good for it. I'm probably gonna go here though, because again, while the show ain't great, I don't recommend it to some people. There are certain things about it that helped me get through it. So not only does Yuki Aoi's performance as Kumiko sell that show so much for me, the fact that she sings the entire ED also is very good. We're gonna lock that in, so now I don't have to worry about it anymore. Ha ha! Okay, best action, which is very difficult because it's like best action and best fight scene. Like, if you took away the hard bits of trying to figure out what best fight scene should be, you're really just voting on which show has the best amount of action to it, which, because I want to give Vivi best fight scene, it probably is getting best action for me as well. I know Demon Slayer and Titan probably deserve it. I haven't given anything to Titan yet. It's been nominated for so much, and I just haven't given a shit. Same with Jujutsu Kaisen. If someone's actually made it this far in this video without getting pissed off at me for not voting for those things, despite the fact that they absolutely do deserve votes, I already know that they're probably going to be voted on by a whole crap ton of people who haven't watched Vivi. So it's up to the people who have watched Vivi to actually give it some representation. Because, like, from just pure view numbers, I already know that Titan, Demon Slayer, and Jujutsu Kaisen have probably been watched far more than Vivi, Wonder Egg, or Dynazenon. Just naturally. I feel like that shouldn't be something that is considered wrong. I feel like that's just common sense due to their popularity. So in that regard, they don't need my help to probably win. Vivi does. So we're going to that. Probably going to lock that one in too. It's funny how I said we weren't going to lock that in, and then we decided to do that anyway. I don't think my choice for best comedy made it here. What was my best comedy? Because I was pretty sure I actually put the vast majority of all my votes into Non-Non-Byori, which didn't even make it here, and that's depressing. Okay, so looking at some of these though, Odd Taxi's a comedy? Hold up. No, it's not. Like, there are comedic aspects in it, but the show is not a comedy. I would never recommend it as a comedy. My God, if you're gonna say the judges are idiots, and you're including me in that, please know that I had nothing to do with Odd Taxi getting best comedy. But we're gonna give it to Dragon Maid, because out of all of those, like, I didn't really finish Nagatoro. I know that it has a popularity, and a lot of people enjoyed it and things like that. Life Lessons with Uramachi Onisan had a bit, and I felt like it went cold pretty quickly, so I ended up dropping it. Odd Taxi doesn't deserve to be there. Komi, I would much rather put probably in the romance category. Not to say that I'm going to give it a vote in the romance category, because I already know it's getting my vote in the romance category, assuming it got nominated. And I didn't watch Heaven's Design Team. I probably should at this point then. Best Drama. Fruits Basket, of course. Although, before I lock that in, it's nice to know that A, To Your Eternity got something, and then Kageki Shoujo also, I think this is the second time that Kageki Shoujo has shown up. 86 has been here a couple of times. Odd Taxi keeps getting nominated for everything. So we're definitely, when we go back, we're going to have to be careful what we actually give Odd Taxi nominations for, because it's nominated for freaking everything. Every year there is a show that is basically what I've referred to as the judge's darling, which is the show that all of the judges have watched and pretty much all agree deserve to be somewhere. And so it shows up everywhere, sometimes undeservingly, which, as we've seen in Best Comedy, Odd Taxi shouldn't have been there. It was, but it shouldn't have been. So Fruits Basket, because, again, that's probably one of my favorite of the entire year. Kageki Shoujo definitely deserves a vote, but I'm really rallying hard on Fruits Basket getting something. So we're gonna go with that. Personal preferences and all that, because, you know, this is a popularity contest, if you didn't remember. Best Romance! Okay, so another reason I probably did that is because I'm actually giving my vote to Horimiya here. Like, technically, some people would be like, why are you not giving Fruits Basket Best Romance? It absolutely deserves it. And you're not wrong. But actually, I feel like out of the things that are here, Fruits Basket has a good chance of running away with it without my help. Now, in saying that, if either Fruits Basket or Horimiya does not win, then I'm shooting myself in the foot here, because I probably should be dumping everything I have behind Fruits Basket to make sure it at least wins. But I love Horimiya a lot. It is, like, it did make my short list for shows that I really enjoyed this past year. I gotta give it there. That's where it's gotta go. Apologies to Comey. Apologies to Comey. Best Fantasy. Oh, this is gonna be hard. Okay, so Best Fantasy. This is actually an interesting topic. So Ranking of Kings. Extremely good show. Mushoku Tensei has problems with it, and that time I got reincarnated as a slime historically has been one of my favorite isekai shows of all time. However, this is not Best Isekai. This is Best Fantasy. And as such, we're going with Ranking of Kings. And I'm going to lock that in even. Because, not to say that isekai can't be fantasy, and that Mushoku Tensei and slime aren't fantasy, but Ranking of Kings is pure fantasy. No isekai involved. And that is something that we are woefully lacking over the last couple of years. So I am going to give it as much help as it can get. Even if, like, we can all probably admit that the Crunchyroll Anime Awards may or may not actually affect the industry all that much. Best Film! This is going to be hard because some of these I haven't watched yet. The problem with Best Film, especially, like, if it's not streaming, and especially in the case of the last couple of years where going to a theater has been an interesting thought, mostly because in some cases they haven't been open. And actually, in being full honest, I've only seen 2 things on this list. I skipped past watching Mugen Train because I wasn't able to watch it. Jose the Tiger and the Fish and Words Bubble Up Like Soda Pop, I don't even think played near me, and even if they did, I don't recall them popping up enough to make me want to try and figure out how I'm gonna go see them. Belle, I absolutely need to see eventually, but that's just one of the things that I haven't seen yet, which really just comes down to, do I want to give my vote to Evangelion or Shirobako? And that's hard, man. I don't want to make that choice, because it's not clear-cut for me either way. Like, I love Shirobako as a series, but I had reservations and disappointments with the movie, which make me not want to give it a vote, as much as I love Shirobako, and it's one of my favorite anime of all time. And then Evangelion, I have other issues with, which we'll eventually get to. I know I keep saying that, but we will eventually get to that in video form. So where the hell does my vote go? Well, you're supposed to come back every day and vote, so maybe I'll alternate between the 2 of them, and we'll start with Shirobako. Maybe I'll lean more towards Evangelion at the end of it, but we'll start there. All right, so that's it. All right, we're not going to look at best of year yet. What we're going to do is we're going to go back down the list, and we're going to lock things in, and then whatever is left, we'll keep that in mind for Anime of the Year, all right? All right, so we're going back to Best Boy. What was our tentative? It got rid of our tentative. That sucks, but I think I remember it being Boji. Otakawa is going to get something elsewhere. Ooh, actually, no, wait. We have been giving Ranking of Kings other things, and I feel like Horimiya, I did put down there for Best Romance, but I don't think it's actually going to get very far, because I don't know how many people have watched it. I feel like I don't need to help Boji win Best Boy. So we're actually going to go for Izumi here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to do that, and hopefully that's fine. Did we lock in Best Girl? No, but it was tentatively Toru Honda. I still think it's Toru Honda. I'm pretty happy with Toru Honda as a pick. I'm riding the Fruits Basket train as much as I can. I really wanted to win some things before it can't win anything anymore. And that's like the other reason why I'm less inclined to vote for things like Attack on Titan and Jujutsu Kaisen, because they're coming back. Ranking of Kings is still airing as well, so like for Best Pro Tag, Boji can win there. Odd Taxi's getting a movie, but we're gonna give Odd Taxi this. We'll give Odd Taxi that, and we'll be very careful of what we're voting Odd Taxi for going forward. All right, this one's probably easy because she's the one that I like the best out of all of them. Cool, cool, good for ReZero. We're starting to get pretty close to the things that I locked in, I'm pretty sure. Okay, I didn't lock in fight scene, which is probably going for Vivi, because I feel like, again, I don't need to help Jujutsu Kaisen or Attack on Titan. And I don't really feel like Kobayashi Dragon Maid deserves best fight scene, and I'm not caught up with Boruto, so I don't care. That's how that's gonna go. Best director, I didn't lock in. Does that mean I gotta give it to Odd Taxi again? Yes, it does. It's gonna win some things, even though it is a judge's darling, because it does actually deserve some of those things. Vivi! Hey, how you doing? Do I want to keep riding the Vivi train, or do I actually want to give Mushoku Tensei something because it hasn't? All right, there are problems with Mushoku Tensei, but the animation ain't one of them, so we're gonna go with Mushoku Tensei for best animation. At least for day one, maybe I'll change it up in future days. Character design, where did I start locking things in? I can't remember. Ranking of Kings, because you deserve a number of things, and I've already given you a few things, but hey, whatever, we're gonna keep going with that. Best score, I'm lost. I think I did tentatively give it to Demon Slayer, and looking back over the list, yeah, all right, that'll be my probably only Demon Slayer vote for this whole awards thing. Have fun. Good luck, Gajira. All right, VA performance. Kumiko, lock that one in. That should be a no-brainer. All right, we did that. We locked in. I'm pretty sure I just locked in everything from this point. I said I wasn't gonna lock it in, and then once you start, you just can't stop. All right, which then brings us to the anime of the year. We're gonna click it, and we're gonna have a look at what is deserving of the anime of the year. And the answer is... They actually got a video for this one. Okay, some of these make sense. Attack on Titan and Jujutsu Kaisen being everywhere. Odd Taxi being the judge's darling. Of course it's going to be here. Happy that Ranking of Kings is here. 86, I'm surprised in Sunny Boy. Sunny Boy is one of those things that shows up here, that it's one of those... You show up so little everywhere else on the ranking list. I'm surprised that you made it here. I almost feel like anime of the year, I'm not surprised that the things that we keep seeing show up here, because if you're so great at all of these individual categories, you should also be so great that you're one of the best of the year. In my mind, that makes sense. So Sunny Boy's the weird one, but my vote's gonna go for Ranking of Kings. Like in my own personal video for anime of the year, I went with Fruba. Fruba ain't here, otherwise that would be an easy pick. If it wasn't also beyond that, Laid Back Camp didn't get nominated for anything, unfortunately, and so that was very depressing. Odd Taxi would probably be my other pick, but I have voted for Odd Taxi in a lot of things. Actually, I think I probably already voted for Ranking of Kings more than Odd Taxi. Maybe I'll swap between them as we go throughout the week, but for the first day, we're gonna start with Ranking of Kings. The last thing I want to do is give my predictions going forward, because there's a big difference between what I have voted for and what are actually going to win. Best boy prediction, probably Boji. My guess would be Boji, even though Izumi is who I voted for. Best girl prediction, I'd love Toru to win. It'll probably be Nobara. Not that I have anything against Nobara. Nobara was one of my favorite characters from Jujutsu Kaisen. That's fine. Komi might give her a run for the money. And maybe 8-6, because, you know, that's been surprisingly popular. I'm gonna put Nobara as my guess for who's actually going to win, but, you know, hopefully Toru beats out. Assuming it's not Eren or Yuji, I would guess it'd probably be Odokawa. I'm assuming it'll be either Eren or Yuji, though, because those shows just have so much more reach. And there's a lot of people that I know in the general public who will come through here, and they'll just vote for the thing that they watched, right? And so the shows that have been seen more have an advantage in that particular case. I didn't lock in fight scene. Well, it's a good thing I'm coming back down. So best antag, who's probably going to win? I have no clue. Like, it's probably going to be either Eren or Tomura. Just based on how popular those shows are. Fight scene, why did I not lock that in? I did put it in for Vivi, though. Oh, did I not double confirm? Cool. Great. It's probably going to be Titan, honestly. The reason why I'm putting Titan as my guess for who's probably going to win over Jujutsu Kaisen is because the Jujutsu Kaisen fans are split, and that might affect things. They might band together on one or the other, but the fact that they're split doesn't help either, which I think will give Titan the edge there. Best director, not a clue. Ignoring the popularity advantage of Titan and Jujutsu. Odd Taxi, potentially, because people who have watched it might actually go for it. I'm not sure how popular Megalobox is with the general public. I remember it being one of the judges' darlings for season 1 when it came out, and then it won like nothing. So I feel like that might be the same this time around, unless I'm totally misremembering how that worked. Best animation, ignoring the popularity of Demon Slayer or Jujutsu, who have a very big chance of winning. Possibly Mushoku Tensei. Honestly, out of the bottom 4 here, I feel like Mushoku Tensei has the best chance, barring the big popular stuff. So, character design, ignoring Jujutsu Kaisen, Odd Taxi or Ranking of Kings are the most likely ones, I feel like, for that. Best score, I'm hoping it's just Demon Slayer, honestly. I feel like my vote is actually going to align with what a lot of other people vote here. I could be wrong. Maybe 8-6 will actually take that. I'm not sure. Ignoring the popularity of Attack on Titan, even though it is split, which is very important. The fact that Lupin the Third is even on this list is hilarious to me. I don't think Jigen's gonna make it. It'd be great if he did. I don't think that's happening. I actually think that Odd Taxi is gonna win here, probably. Best VA performance. My God, I hope Laura Bailey wins this. But if it's not Laura Bailey, Jujutsu Kaisen, probably due to popularity. Also, Skate, because I know exactly why that screenshot was used. There is a line that got really popular with people who watched the show, and I feel like David Walt has a good shot at winning purely on the viralness of that scene from Skate alone. So Jujutsu Kaisen's probably going to win, potentially because it is the most popular. Beyond that, I'm hopeful for Laura Bailey, but other than that, I'm hopeful Brittany also gets it. So if it's either Laura or Brittany, I will be supremely happy. Best opening sequence is probably going to go to Titan. I feel like Odd Taxi's not going to win, but it is my personal favorite, so that's where my favorite is going to go. It's probably going to be Titan, let's be fair. Same here. Like, Titan and Beastars, I think, have very good chances to win it. I don't think Shadow's House or Skate's going to win Best ED. I don't even think that Spider's going to win this, but that's just where my vote's going to go, because it's honestly where I feel like my vote should go. Best action, I'm voting for Vivi, but I feel like that's a lost cause. It's gonna be Titan, Demon Slayer, or Kaizen. It's just gonna be. I can try and be in denial about that as much as I want. Nagatoro is probably where this is gonna go. If not, then Komi. I don't think the Dragon Maid wins this. If Odd Taxi wins this, my God, it's all on you. It's on the general audience and the general public. Best drama, I actually think 8-6 has a very good chance of winning this. I think it's been popular enough in enough circles that its popularity might be high enough to win best drama. I am personally hopeful for Fruits Basket, but we'll see where that goes. I feel like Odd Taxi is just a judge's darling in that particular case, so I don't think it's going to win Best Drama. Could be wrong. Best Romance. This, again, goes to what has probably been the most seen. I'm hopeful for either Fruits Basket or Horimiya. If not them, then potentially Beastars. I feel like Komi is too recent, and I don't know if anyone would actually vote for Nagatoro in the romance category. I could be wrong. Maybe I got a different vibe off of the fan base and what actually is the real thing. Best Fantasy, I feel like Mushoku Tensei is probably going to take this. If not, then Slime. Ranking of Kings, I know it has been one of the more higher judge picks, but I don't know about the general populace. I like to hope that most of you have been watching Ranking of Kings and actually enjoy it enough to vote for it, like I am. And we'll see how that goes. And then Best Film. Best Film is a really big wild card, because again, it goes down to who has actually watched the thing. In that case, I feel like Demon Slayer is probably going to take it and run. But Evangelion is Evangelion, and Bell has the fact that it's the latest from Chizu, so those are very high up and very good popularities. I don't think that Josei, Soda Pop, or Shirobako are going to win at all. I really do think that that's just a runaway for Mugen Train, but, I could be wrong there. Anime of the Year. Who do I think is going to win Anime of the Year? Who should win Anime of the Year? Either Odd Taxi or Ranking of Kings. Who's probably going to win Anime of the Year? Either Titan or Kaizen. I don't think Sunny Boy is going to win, and I don't think 8-6 is going to win. Though, out of everything I just said, 8-6 could win, and then I will eat my words. Deserving if it does. It's not in the list of my personal favorites, so I wouldn't vote for it. But I do know it's popular enough to get there. But we'll have to see. And that's been me going through the Crunchyroll Anime Awards for 2021. Here we are at the start of 2022. It's been an interesting year. These are an interesting set of awards. I actually feel like these nominations were better than I was expecting. I remember 2021 being very heavy in the front, and then kind of trickled down and slowed with supremely superb releases on the tail end of the year. But with everything that we have there, it'll be interesting to see what wins. Make sure that you go and you not only vote yourself, but you come back to vote every single day. Crunchyroll has not paid me for anything like this. It's just something that I'm very interested in seeing the results for. And the more people vote, the more interesting the results will be. So I'm counting on you guys for that. And, you know, at the end of it, we're going to watch it. We're going to watch the award ceremony, however they choose to do it. I don't actually know how Crunchyroll is doing it this year. We're going to all watch it or not watch it and just find out what got voted on at the end of the day. And then we're going to react accordingly. A lot of us will probably hate the results because that can be fairly common. But I'm very hopeful that 1 or 2 awards will go to who I really want them to. And so I'll actually be happy with it. But we'll have to see. And until then, thanks for watching. Watch more anime. You have a whole list now of things that you could be watching and should be watching. So get at it and stay frosty. Bye.